that they say like 10 minutes a day or whatever, dude. If you are struggling with mindset in any capacity, if you're struggling with self-confidence or overcoming some of your fears or anything, I would attack those things like the dickens. And I would, every ounce of time that you have, when you're doing laundry, when you're folding clothes, when you're doing dishes, when you're in the shower, in the morning, right when you wake up, when you're driving, when you're carpooling, when you're commuting to work, I would be plugged in to PD, and I would be fueling your brain with as much intentional personal development as you can, because the more that you grow, the more that the goals you're going to grow into. You can't surpass your own growth as far as goals go. So if you feel like you've kind of hit a slump or you've hit a plateau in your business, you've probably just kind of hit a growth plateau and need to kind of up the ante and overcome some things in order to take it to the next level. So really, really, really be intentional about you personally, not what book is everyone reading? Great, I'm going to read that. No, what are you struggling with? What do you need to overcome? What do you feel like is holding you back? What skill, even professional development, you guys, that's a huge part of it. What skill set can you master? What is it? Is it communicating with people? Is it understanding personalities? Is it sharing your story on social media? Is it like, there's so many things that as you evolve and as you go deeper into the business, you're going to want to fine tune and tweak and really master. And those are things that you can be learning every single day. But the mindset and those things are number one, most important thing that you crush right off the bat. So do not skip that one. Yeah. And podcasts. I love the Life Coach School podcast too. Love Brooke Castillo. And recommend that one to all of my new coaches. I'm like, just listen to this start to finish, and then we can talk about books. So that's free. Yeah. So Julie, that's really all I wanted to chat about. And then I'm totally open to do some Q&A or whatever you guys want to chat about.
I would love some Q&A. Okay, good. Cool. Zoom kicked me off for a minute and then I came back on. So I kind of floated in and out. My team knows I have all kinds of issues with Zoom on my end. So, but I would love to do Q&A because I don't think that, we don't get an opportunity to sort of, pick brains very often. I hate that term, but what questions do you want to talk a little bit more about the Instagram collections? Do you want to talk about maybe you already talked about stuff, and while I was trying to access Zoom, you've already answered it. But I think if we had some questions, that would be great without taking too much more time. Who's got questions? Because I know that, I keep seeing Amber's.
Amber's came up. Okay. So she said, how would you suggest we start so that Success Club still happens for April and they can also be building collections for May? So yeah, you if you haven't been building, so if you're starting collections from scratch, I would start a collection that you're going to invite immediately. Like, these are girls that you've already been connecting with, you've already been building a relationship with, but you just haven't invited yet. Or go to your story watchers, or go to your people liking your stuff, and people who are already very familiar with who you are and what you do and showing interest. Add the solid people into a collection that you can maybe spend one day really connecting with them proactively, and then the next day just popping in their inbox and sending them an invite. That's what I would do for immediate. For long term, when you're really warming up cold market and new people, that's when I set it a month out. And it's these are brand new, fresh people that I'm finding. I'm warming them up for a month and then I'm inviting them. So there's kind of this funnel that is always being filled. But yeah, so for immediate people, I would go to your likers. I would go to your story watchers. I would go to the people that you've already been engaging with and maybe having conversations with, and build a collection with those people, and then warm it up for a couple days and shoot them an invite after that. That's what I would do.
So I have a question, because since you said story watchers, because I think there are different schools of thought on this. When you are seeing someone watch your stories over and over again, do you feel comfortable reaching out to them? Do you not? Because I've heard Jatana Jackson say before, and again, you have to do what works for you. So whatever feels good and authentic to you. I heard Jatana say, well, she wouldn't do that because if someone did that to her, that would have made her feel weird. Then we've heard other coaches say, no, if they're watching, why would we not reach out to them? So I'm curious what your take on it is.
So I see both sides for sure. But to me, When someone is watching over and over and over and over and over, they're very interested in what you're doing. They're very just enthralled with what's going on, right? And so I would definitely feel comfortable, and I do. I warm it up first still. I like to at least spend a day like going to their stuff and just being a normal human. And then maybe the next day or the day after being like, hey girl, I just wanted to pop in and say thanks so much for the support and for the love. Like I sometimes feel like a loser for posting and talking to my imaginary friends. Literally my husband makes fun of me all the time. So I like use that. I'm like, my husband makes fun of me all the time for talking to my imaginary friends, but girl, you show up and you make it worth it. And then I would just be like, have you ever thought about jumping into boot camp? And I just keep it simple. What I found is that so many people have thought about it. They watch and watch and watch and watch and watch and watch and watch. And they are too freaking scared to reach out and ask questions or fill out an application or do anything. But simply opening the door, they're like, actually, yes, I have. I love what you do. I love da-da-da-da. Tell me more about it. Or, you know, or they're like, no, I'm happy with what I'm doing, but I love, like, I think you're super inspirational. Da-da-da. Awesome. I love new friends. Like, and then we just kind of chit chat, you know? So I don't feel weird about it at all, but I am not one that like, oh, I got a new story watcher, I'm going to shoot her an invite. And I feel like that is where coaches drop the ball, is where they rely on those new people coming in to then shoot an invite right off the bat. And you like smash that relationship so hard, so fast. Why would they want to come back to you if they feel like if I go to her page, she's going to attack me? I'm not going to go back to her page. You know what I mean? So you kind of just have to find that balance. And so I'm definitely not inviting them like the second they show up, but I have no problem. Like if they're there often and frequently, those are the people those are like your warm leads, right? Those are the people that you should be adding to a collection so that you can love on. So then it's not weird to naturally be like, hey girl, you're super rad. I'd love to have you in a group. Have you thought about jumping in? You know? So that's my take on it. I'm kind of just slower to the punch. But I do feel like my groups are really rad. My team is incredible and people would be lucky to be a part of it. So I'm not going to keep that from them. So if you feel confident in what you have, then you're not going to be nervous about kind of like approaching them about it, but don't attack people.
That's wasn't it Angie Bellamar who said at the training on the ship when she was like, it's like a banana. Wasn't she talking about that? Like if you try to peel a green banana, there's no going back. You can't stuff the banana back into the peel. So once you peel the green banana, you've lost it. You know? But if you let the banana ripen a little bit, then it's good. So I think it's exactly what you're saying. If you're sort of starting to, and if, again, y'all don't sleep on what she said a couple times. She said multiple times, just be a normal human. Hi, just be a normal human. So being a coach is just part of what makes you a normal human. So stop trying to be all coachy and just be a human that actually has an amazing team of which you're a part, amazing products and programs, and amazing challenge groups. And as Micah said, they'd be lucky to be a part of it. So just be a human instead of trying to be this all coachy person.
Yes. Yes. Maria said, do you follow people and unfollow others ever? How do you manage those who follow you and those you follow back, especially if they're not public? Okay. So I have my Instagram helper I have her go to targeted accounts and follow solid girls. And then the way that we track is when they follow me back, they get sorted into a collection. But I don't care if they follow me back. If I follow a solid girl that's public, she goes directly into a collection, whether or not she follows me back. Because I don't care if she's interested in what I'm doing. I want to love on her and get to know her. And if it's right, then I'll invite her or she'll follow me back or whatever at that point. If they're public or if they're private, all I go off of is their profile pic and their bio. And if they look solid, I request to follow. I just don't overthink it. I'm like, oh, they look cool. I request to follow. But I don't track them at that point just because there's just so much going on. I just don't want to deal. So I don't track them unless they're following me back or they're public. Then they go right into a collection. That's how I do that. And the only time I use my Instagram feed as an interest list. So if I ever see something weird or like not my vibe, I unfollow right away. Like I am following with intention. I follow, I don't know, like 2,000 people right now, and they are 2,000 prospects. Either like I want to work with them, or they're maybe some of my coach friends that I'm inspired by or I want to support and love on in my feed. So don't just follow people to follow people or whatever. Like be intentional about how you work your social media, because it is like money. That's your bread and butter. Kelsey, when you first really started to build a team and trying to figure out how to be a leader, how are you able to multiply your actions and your passion with your belief in this opportunity? Just by leading by example, really. I mean, I've never, as far as like leadership, I've never really felt like I overcomplicated it. A lot of my girls, I feel like that holds them back. They're like, well, I don't know if I'm a good leader or da-da-da. And I'm like, dude, just my leadership take is I want to make success for my girls as easy as possible for them. Like I want to streamline the road to success for my girls. So I'm simply sharing what I'm doing as much as I can. Hey girls, I'm going to go do an invite blitz. This is an example of what I'm sending. Let's go do it. Let's send 20 out. Let's do this. Hey girls, I'm going to run a 3-day sneak peek. If you want to plug girls in, let's do it. Da, da, da. Like I just simply did my thing that I knew I needed to be doing to grow my business. And I let them know that it was a resource for them, or gave them kind of baby steps on, this is what I'm doing, now go do it. This is what I'm doing, now go do it. Because I felt like that was what was holding a lot of my girls back, and still to this day, is they just don't take action. They don't take the right action, right? So if I'm still doing the same things today that I did at the beginning to grow. I'm building my following, I'm connecting, I'm inviting, I'm following up, I'm doing calls to action, I'm doing calls to action in my stories, I'm doing all of these little things. So I'm simply trying to, whenever I can, say, this is what I'm doing, now go do it, and making it as easy as possible for them. So that's really all leadership is, in my opinion, and is just kind of being that constant place of, when you step into that leadership role, I feel like you're no longer allowed to complain or be the negative whatever, or you have to shift your mindset around, okay, I'm going to be a solution solver. I'm going to make sure that I take care of my number one so that I can take care of other people's crap. Because you'll notice that people are coming to you with their complaints and their struggles and their whatever. And if you're not taking ownership of your own mindset and energy and all of that stuff first, then you're not going to be in a place to then support and be an encourager for them. So that was one thing that I noticed early on was, holy moly, if I'm going to help take on these other people's struggles and help them through it, I need to be in a positive place myself, and I have to take care of number one first. So that would probably be my biggest leadership tip, is just really making sure that you're staying in a positive place, you're solution oriented. And because guys, energy is so powerful. Like you slip into that negative energy and this like everything else will go down with it. So make sure that you're protecting your number one. John C. Maxwell talks about that in the No Limits book. He talks about your emotional intelligence and your emotional energy and all that stuff. It is so real. So if you haven't read that book, that's another good one that I'm obsessed with.
Micah, you're awesome. I'm glad that the show went on while Zoom kicked me off and you just kept going. I love it. I love it. I love what you do with your business and how you do it and how you run it and how uncomplicated you keep it and how you keep your priorities, the main thing for you.
Yeah.
So you're someone that I just really admire. I love how you run your business. I love how you run your life. And we're just glad that you could spend some time with us tonight on your spring break too.
Oh yeah.
And we will see you in, I had a countdown somewhere, but I think it's 97 days till Indianapolis. Not that I would be counting, but I think it's 97 days till Indianapolis, and we'll see you then. And thanks for sharing an hour of your time with us tonight.
You bet. Thank you, guys.
See you guys.
See you, Julie.